Hello, welcome to the stream. We've got a 4Runner today. I don't know if I will be able to finish it all the way through this stream. Um, yeah, I think my camera will die before I'm able to finish. I think. Because these 4Runners take a while to do. Mainly the back window takes some time. That's the main part. Sorry, I'm gonna get the link posted and all of that good stuff. I need better lighting in here. I gotta situate that. The like from my, I can tell from my thumbnail, especially with this 400 being black, you can't really see the details of this thing. I don't think I'm gonna do Instagram or anything like that. I'm just gonna post it on my personal Facebook, shop Facebook. We do have to remove the tint on the front doors on this thing. To set that phone up there. I also have been meaning to figure out my situation with like reading the chat. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. 4Runner. So we're gonna go ahead and get this here taken apart. So I'm going to need a flathead and a Phillips. It's kind of funny how I've learned exactly what tools is needed for what car, because I've done so many. I've also done freaking hundreds of 4Runners. And I know they take some time to do. Yeah, okay. Let's say, can you even see me right now? Come on, slide out of there. There we go. I feel like I did a 4Runner. It was almost exactly like this. It was a little bit older, I believe. I think it was like a 2019 or so. I think I did it on Monday. Actually, I like doing 4Runners. Like, everything is fairly simple with 4Runners other than the rear window. The rear window gets kind of complicated. And I should probably figure out how, I guess since working on my own now, I need to figure out how to do it by myself. I mean, I did the one on Monday and I've done several by myself before, but it's never easy because of, I try to get, so I two-stage the back window usually. If you're a window tinter, you know what I'm talking about. I two-stage the back window, and so I leave the hatch shut when I'm trying to do it and everything. So it's just hard to climb into the back, into the like hatch area with the film in hand and trying to get in and not touch anything and all that good stuff. It helps when like this 4Runner has steps. That kind of helps, but for the most part, it's kind of complicated to do it by yourself. I'm thinking maybe with this one I'll try something new and maybe open the hatch and do it like I normally do with a back window with the hatch open, and then I'm thinking I may try to roll it. I don't know. I've got to find some other method because it the last one, it took me forever just to try to climb into the back there without like dropping the film or rubbing it on something or falling and all of that. It was just kind of like, I was just kind of like, how do I do this without without messing it up? I got it in and everything first try, but I was like, I'm gonna have to do this without messing it up. And we do have to remove this film off of the front. Which hopefully it has not been on there for a while. Well, I say that, and this thing's a 2023, so obviously it's not been on there for a while. Duh. But hopefully it's in, you know, it's not a horribly, horrible adhesive to get off. 4Runners are just the best. They're just so simple to take apart and work on. I wish other manufacturers were like this, to where you can actually work on the vehicles and it's not a freaking pain in the butt. I'm looking at you German manufacturers. There we go. All doors are loose. Let me grab my steamer. I don't really know how much water is in this. Also, I'm going to be on vacation next week, so obviously no stream for next Saturday. But I'm also looking into things that will make this stream a little better. Obviously, like, as you can tell right now, I'm away from the camera. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm filling up my steamer with water. So I'm looking into getting the Meta glasses so that you can see my point of view and everything. I've just got to figure out how to like connect that to my laptop, to the OBS software, so that obviously I can live stream it. What the heck? What did I do with it? No. That way you can see like my point of view, and I also won't have to move the camera around and all of that good stuff. That way you can see what I'm doing at all times and stuff like that. So I'm hoping those glasses will work, because I'm pretty sure the glasses they either have speakers or microphone on them. Obviously, I'll probably still use this microphone that I have on, because it's just easier and it's probably way better quality. But I don't know, we'll see. That's one thing I am looking into to make the stream a little bit better. We were tinting this before, left a fairly hefty gap on the top. let the steamer warm up. If I'm away from the camera, I apologize. I'm actually going to post this in a window tinting Facebook group. Maybe we can get some viewers in here and stuff. I'm sure the steamer will be nice and loud once it starts heating up a little. Well, not while it's heating up, but once I'm using it. So far, so good. Yeah, if I can get some heat on it once this steamer, heats up, then I think we'll be good. I think it'll come off with little to no adhesive, I hope. Which actually, while we're waiting on the steamer, we might as well cut this bad boy out. So we are doing 5% in the Geoshield's Apex, which is super ceramic. I've started, I figured out, because I know there's an app or like a software called Tint, and they have a way of like calculating your the inventory of your film based on the weight, and like you can just input it, input the weight and it'll calculate it for you and everything. Well, I have figured out a way to do that myself without having to pay for that software, which is awesome. I just have to remember to like weigh it when I'm done using it. So pretty much like when I'm done cutting this out, really I'm just going to leave the film on my table so that it kind of reminds me to weigh it when I'm done. Pretty much, I guess when I get the car done and I'm like cleaning up for the day, it will remind me like, oh, hey, Why? Why, Core? I had my software up, had the car up and everything, and then it says like, "Hey, would you like to update? Accept terms and update." I'm like, why? I was literally just about to press cut. Now I gotta bring the car up again. 2023 Toyota 4Runner. Probably should have cleaned my blade before. Well, speaking of, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Before it started cutting, I'll just go ahead and, clean that up real quick. Get this thing cut out while the steamer, takes forever. This thing's getting 5 all the way around, so the back of this thing is gonna be pitch black. I wish I had one of those meters that would do it by like decimal place, because I'd love to see what the back of this thing turns out to be. Because she gonna be dark. It's kind of crazy. Like, I wish I had the statistics of like what percentage I do the most, because I'm almost positive it would be 5. It seems like every single car that I do, it's 5%. Every single one. Yeah. Eventually, I'm gonna be, maybe this upcoming week. I'll be on vacation this next upcoming week. So maybe while I'm on vacation, I can kind of look into the meta glasses and see how I can live stream with those things. Because obviously they're wireless, so you can't just like hook them to my computer. So I think I looked it up before, and the only way to really do that was to you take the video feed from your phone and somehow link it to your computer. But to me, it seems like there would be a delay in that. So I'm thinking like there may be a delay between like the video and the audio. So I don't know. I'm gonna look into it. I'm hoping that will work out because if not, I'll have to like wear a GoPro head mount and with like a wireless video transmitter, unless there's a different way to do that now. But to me, that seems like that's the only way to do it, unless the meta glasses works. I'll just have to. I'm gonna look into that. I have to figure that out. What are you cutting on? As far as like on the table, that's on the table, or now let's finesse this. All together here. Yes, sir. It's if you just Google self-healing cutting mat, that's what that is. Self-healing cutting mat is what you have to like look up. I cannot remember the name. I'll have to look it up. I think it was called Foreman Industries, like the number 4-man Industries. I think is where I got that one. And I put in like a certain dimension and everything for it to fit on top of my table. It's awesome. It is highly recommended. I've seen some people use glass, but obviously over time glass will start to, you know, score up and everything. So it'll make it harder to cut. But this is like, it's the best. I'm pretty sure it was from Foreman Industries is where I got it. But if you just search like self-healing cutting mat, you'll find it. They have some that will have like a grid on it, and it'll have like measurements and stuff like that. If you wanted like that, I didn't really care because I don't really use it to measure anything with, to be honest. But yeah, it's awesome. I've got it like Velcroed down on top of my table here. Yeah, it's awesome. Highly recommend. I think you can get some on Amazon, but they're not nearly as big. This plotter is 60 inches wide. It's the Graphtec, the like 64-inch one. And then my table is also like 8 feet long. But I think you can get them on Amazon, just like obviously smaller dimensions and everything. But it makes it so much easier. Because I can kind of obviously I can cut out the whole car and be done with it. Before I would put it on my my peel board and then trim it on there. But I find this way easier. And if you put like a back window on your peel board, you have to wet it, and then you have to like wait for it to dry before you can try to shrink it if you dry shrink, all that good stuff. But yeah, highly recommend. If you want the like actual link and place that I've got it from, you'll probably either have to shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram or something, and I can look that up later to find exactly where I bought it from. I'm pretty sure it was called Foreman Industries, but I'm not 100% on that. But yeah. Debating if I want to plot out this windshield or not. The last 4Runner I did plot it out, and it was a little bit wide. Which was fine, I just trimmed it. But you know what, screw it, we're gonna do it. Grab my 50% here. Getting this thing cut out while my steamer kind of warms up, since I've got to remove the front two on this thing. I'm so happy I found out like a method to like figuring out how much film I have left. Because I'm not gonna lie, before I was just kind of taking a guess and being like, I think I should go ahead and order it. But now I can actually like know how much I have left. Let's see here, windshield. Let's see here, this has the big mirror cut out, I believe. Yep, just the big square. I feel like this could almost fit on a 24-inch roll. I just don't have a 24-inch roll currently. Especially of 50%. I think my film is staticky. Lots of static. I think I'm gonna remove the front two and then I'm gonna instantly start on the back window, just to get that done and out of my way. I don't know if anybody, and obviously I think Daryl, you're probably a Tint installer, I would assume, since he asked about the cutting mat. But I always try to get like the harder, more time consuming things done first. Like the windshield and back window usually are your most time consuming things. I always do those things first. Get it done and out of the way. You don't have to worry about it anymore. But I also need a TV in here. So I would love to have, you know, like college game day on in the background. Not really on to where you can hear it, but at least on so I can kind of glance at it every now and then. My balls have got UAB today. Should be an easy dub. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start on this. Not really start on the back window, but I'm at least gonna get it clean and get my dry shrink on there. I've seen people say you can shrink it on the windshield. That you can shrink this back window on the windshield. I tried that on one before, and it didn't work for me. I had big old fingers pop up on the bottom, which is fine. I pretty much shrank it from the inside, but I'd rather not do that. I'd rather just have no fingers. And I don't know if it was just because I didn't place it right on the windshield when I went to shrink it, or if you need to wet shrink it on the windshield. I don't know. But the last 4Runner I did, I just did my more normal method of dry shrinking it on the back window. So we're just going to continue doing that. But I have seen when people will do that. I tried it one time and it did not work out very well. Right. You're going to let that dry while I remove. Again, I apologize for my camera situation. I'm looking into other methods of maybe getting a POV type look. All right. Steamer is warmed up. Also need a new steamer. I need to get the Jiffy steamer. This one works, it just doesn't keep the window like as hot. I have to say though, this one's good about Like if you have a back window that likes to, like we all know those removals that you start removing it and it starts just like ripping. You get one layer off and then it'll rip. This one you can just put on that little rip section and just kind of blast it because it's actually like pressurized and it'll come off beautifully. This is coming off so nice. Like no glue. Oh, there's the adhesive. How's it doing that? Stop. Boom, one done. One window removed. Let's start on that back window as soon as I get this other door off. Take my blade over there. I'd say this is the part where my camera situation is not the greatest. I can't really move it to where you can see what's going on because my cord for my camera is not long enough. So you're just going to kind of get this point of view. I've only got like a 10-foot cord or something, so it's not the greatest in the world. Get that started. I'll eventually get a better setup going. I know Matt from the Facebook group has a pretty good setup, but I know he used to use like a GoPro head mount with like a wireless video transmitter, and that's how he did it. I just don't know if I want to walk around with all that, the headgear and I think he had like a battery charger attached to the GoPro and the wireless transmitter and all of that hooked to like a headband. I'd like to have a more simple setup, especially like because I'm working. If I can figure out something with the meta glasses, I think that would be the way to do it. I guess it depends if they can record that long and all that stuff. I just haven't looked into it. But also, if I'm going to use the GoPro, I'm going to have to get like some like multiple batteries that are charged up and everything. Because like today, I'm probably not going to finish this car for the whole stream. So I'm probably going to have to like end the stream when my battery gets low. So I'm probably just going to have to buy some extra batteries and have them charged up, ready to go, so then I can just switch them. So that's coming off fairly easy. Boom, she removed. Turn my steamer off. I like it when removals go smooth. Also helps a lot. This is just a 2023, so it's not like the tint has been on there for years upon years, which helps tremendously. All right, now that that's removed, we're gonna start on this bad boy. Still got a couple wet spots. I'll just take a heat gun to it, dry it out. I think I've got these microphones set up to where you can't hear the heat gun going. Can y'all hear that? Video should look dry. Get this thing shrinked. is it that all these 4Runners, like on the back window, it is always so grainy and like nasty? All of them are, no matter how new they are. I can't say anything. I've got a 4Runner. It's not this body style. I've got a 4th gen, but it's freaking nasty too. With gosh dang, like I think I'm about to hit 350,000 miles on it. Which is crazy. It's a testament to how well these 4Runners are made. Right. I know a lot of people do like the 4 quadrant shrink method on these. I don't. I do like opposite corners. Which I know some people are going to be like, no, that's the wrong way to do it, but that's the way I've always done it. I've always had success at it. So, people have their ways, and a lot of people are stuck in their ways. I get it. This thing is not going to stay up here. So I start shrinking. Why? Stay. Why are you wanting to do that? It's like once I try to squeegee one, like keep one side down, the other side wants to fall. So this thing's got a Sasquatch sticker on it. Now, if I've got some people in here from the window tinting group, type in the chat how you guys normally do 4Runner back windows. Like, describe your process. Not necessarily your shrinking method and all that, but like how you go about installing them. Because in my past, I've always worked with somebody, and usually I will just sit in the back hatch closed, and have them hand me the back window, and then I will proceed to 2-stage it. Is how I've always done it. But now I'm by myself because I started my own business. And the last 4Runner I did, I struggled to get into the back with the film I didn't really struggle. It just took me a minute. So I'm trying to think of ways that, you know, would make it easier on myself. Because I mean, it worked. I didn't struggle to install it or anything like that. It was just hard to crawl all the way back there with the film in my hand and all that. I'm thinking with this one, I'm gonna try to like bottom load it, but like roll it, if that makes sense. I don't know if that will work or not. I don't think I've ever watched anybody else, you know, install a 4Runner back window. Other than people I have worked with, and they all did it the same way I did. That's also when it helps when you have a extra set of hands. I still have not got my plotter dialed in completely. I still find some areas where it doesn't cut all the way. Like right here, I want to. But I mainly think that's because this is a 2mm film. Because my regular C2 and C2 ceramic cut pretty good, pretty flawlessly, to be honest. But for whatever reason, this apex does not cut very well. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm switching films anyway. Once I run out of this Geoshield that I currently have. I had a towel earlier. But once I run out of this Geoshield, I don't have to order anymore, so. All right. Off and off. Let's get this hatch area taken apart here. Just heard a ding. What was that? Oh. Facebook notification. All right. Let me back you up a little bit, maybe. There you go. Now you can see the whole thing. Take that guy out. doing it from the wrong side. Let's get this. Get the light out. Now I'm gonna go grab my 10 mil. Yeah, buddy. All right. Bolts are taken out. Let's grab a trim tool and pop this guy loose. Let me find a good place to pop it loose from. There we go. As long as I can get it started. Here we go. She is loose. Nice. Only got one clip to take out. It'll be this guy right here. Popped her out. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get that clip back in there. All right. Now to my window tinters. If there's any in the chat, I'd like to find a new method of doing this because I normally two-stage it and crawl into the doors and then crawl back here. But I've found by myself that is not the easiest thing in the world. Which I'm thinking I still may do that. Just because that's what I'm used to, really. But if somebody types in the chat and tells me maybe an easier method, that's just always how I've done it. But usually I have somebody to help me. Usually they'll just hand me the film. usually I'll just, can you see me from right here? Usually I'll just crawl in right here and just work my way back there with the hatch shut. Which is hard to do when you're by yourself, but I'm thinking about trying to, I don't know if this would work. I'd have to roll it tight as hell. I was thinking about rolling it, sticking one side in and unrolling it, and like bottom loading it while rolling it. I don't know if that will work either. I'm sure most people just do it like this and just bottom load it. I think I'm just gonna do that. Can you roll the window down with the hatch up though? Does that work? So no, that doesn't work. The hatch has to be shut for you to roll the window down. Right? Okay. So am I just gonna have to go back and forth of rolling it down, opening it up? I guess so. To be honest, this will be the first time I've ever done it like this. Now can I roll it? Will it roll up with the hatch open? Oh, it will. Okay, that's interesting. That is interesting. So it won't roll down, but it'll roll up. Pill halfway from top to bottom, roll window. From top to bottom, roll rear window down 3 inches to 4 inches. Yeah, so pretty much you're saying like two stage it. That's so weird. You can't roll the window down with the hatch open, but you can roll it up with the hatch open. I'm just gonna Set film inside car, sit facing out, let your legs dangle, then install the half. Yes, close it. Yeah, see, usually that's how, this is how I do it, is I'll have the hatch shut, you know, roll it down a little bit like this, and then just crawl in through the door and two-stage it. That's normally how I do it, but I find it's hard to get into the car with the film in my hand. So I'm gonna try to do it differently now. I'm gonna try to open it like this and bottom load it. I'm sure it's probably gonna be fairly difficult and weird, especially as it's my first time trying to do it like that. But I find it just, you know, hard to get inside the vehicle. And I don't normally like to uh, pill it while I'm like inside the car. I like to use my board to pill it. So I'm gonna try it this way. You know, if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But what half of the pattern on the glass, fold in half without creasing it, set it in the car, then close the hatch on your legs. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you're saying like sit right here with my legs out this way. Don't like shut it all the way. And then just two-stage it. I'm gonna try to just like bottom load it from this way. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but you know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And I'll just do it again and do it my normal way. I think the main thing with this is just Geoshield is very sticky. Very sticky. Oh, this ain't too bad. It's just lots of sliding involved, where Geoshield does not like to slide. If you've used Geoshield, you know what I'm talking about. Or at least in my experience, I can never get Geoshield to slide very well. This is actually sliding okay. Way better than I imagined. That's how I'm gonna do that for now on, instead of trying to get my ass in the back. Hard to see the top edge though, especially with this thing 5%. How long have you been tinting? About, let's see, I started October of 2020, so it'd be 5 years next month. Just make sure I didn't have to file this thing. Yeah, it'd be 5 years next month. I've been tinting quite a while. Yeah, the reason I was asking all the questions is because I've done hundreds of these things. And I don't know if you were here before, but normally I would have somebody to help me. But uh, I just started my own business here, and so I'm by myself. And the last few that I've done here by myself, it just seemed like, because I was trying to crawl into the back. I understand what you're saying. Been doing it for 20 years. Heck yeah. You were doing it when it was fun. You had all the nice fun vehicles. Got one finger that just does not want to lay down on the top. One wee little guy. Hand cut only, yeah. Oh yeah. That's how I was when I first, started on my own. I learned at a shop that used the plotter, but I also know how to hand cut. But when I was on my own for the first little bit, um, started my own business, I hand cut only. But now I've got a plotter, which is amazing. What software are you using? I use Core. Yeah, I use Core. I was using this software called Disruptive. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of that. And I really liked the way the software worked, and two, it was a lot cheaper than Core and all the other ones that I have used. It was only like 120 a month, and that was with uh, Tint patterns and PPF, which I don't do PPF, but like that's pretty intriguing, at that price point. But their software was it was easy to use, and the patterns fit pretty well, other than them being like 20 feet long in the bottom. And I even asked about it and was like, why are your guys' patterns so long in the bottom? And he was like, He said, you know, some people like it to barely cover, and some people like it to go deep into the seal. And I was like, yeah, I understand that, but like, I'm not kidding. That like each pattern went 2 inches below the seal, and when it's like not needed, like on an F-150, you don't need that much in the bottom, and that was one thing I didn't like about Disruptive. And the second thing I didn't like was they didn't have anything older than like 2015. So any car that would come in that was like to me a 2015 vehicle isn't that old, or even like a 2012 vehicle is not that old, in my opinion. So the amount of times I was having to hand cut a car, and it would be like a 2012, you know, those guys that cut the patterns don't give a shit. Yeah, I know. They don't. But yeah. And my final straw with them, which is why I switched to core, was I got in it was a Kia, a Kia, a Kia. It was a Kia. It was a brand new K4. It was a 2025. I didn't even look in the software. I was like, oh, it's a 2025. They have to have it. And the girl was like, okay, how about how long it'd take? I'd be like, take hour and a half, roughly. She's like, okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna go hang out around town. Just let me know when you're done. I go to cut it out, and it's not in the software. It's a 2025, and it's not like those K4s are like brand spanking new. Like, yeah, it's a new model. They've been out for a while now, and I was like, okay, I have to get a software that has most vehicles, because that was like my final straw with them. I was like, and it's not that I like can't hand cut and I don't like hand cutting. I don't mind it. It's just when I told the girl it'd take, an hour to an hour and a half, it took me double that because I had to hand cut the whole thing. But yeah. So I switched to core and I hadn't looked back, to be honest. I've had one car not fit, and it was like a 2008 Elantra, and the front doors were just too short. 2025s come out in 24. Yeah, yeah, and I'm pretty sure the K4s came out. Pretty sure the first year model was 2024, so they came out in 23. I was like, okay, it's been out for a while now. Like, should have the software, or I mean the not the software, but the pattern, and it just didn't. And I was like, okay, this is annoying. So I was like, I have to. So now I'm paying more money for core, but I'm like guaranteed that the patterns fit really good, and I'm pretty much guaranteeing that the patterns are there, which I'm okay with paying more for that. We'll roll this. I keep forgetting you have to shut this thing. Roll her down and make sure that finger and everything is going to lay down. Correct. They stopped making the Forte for the K4. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just thought it was crazy that they didn't have the pattern for the K4 in there. So I was like, okay, I'm switching. Why is this not wanting to lay down? Get the magic bottle. It's just like, it's not a very big one. It's just itty bitty. The edge of the film just not laying down. Everywhere else is laying down good, and this thing looks good. Yeah, that was my last straw with them. And I didn't understand their, Omar, which, you said you use core. I think you said you love their patterns. I couldn't tell if you were talking about disruptive or core. But one thing another thing I didn't like about that disrupt. Sorry, I'm like going on a rant about disruptive, but the patterns and everything were pretty good. We'll just get that out of the way. The patterns were pretty good. I used XPEL core and film design. Oh, okay, yeah, I've used DAP before at a shop I used to work for. I liked DAP. Um, but what was I saying? Disruptive. Patterns fit good. Another thing I did not like about them is like normally you sign up for a subscription, and it will just like automatically, do it. It'll automatically, uh, charge you for it, and you don't have to really do anything on the software. Well, disruptive, they did it really weird, where like I set it up for the automatic payments and everything. The payment would come out, and then I would have to wait for a like representative or a like the company to send me an email for like a gift card code, and then I would have to type the code into the software to be able to use the software. And that just did not make sense to me. Like if you're going to set it up for like an auto pay and an auto, you know, you know, like an automatic payment type deal, why am I having to go in and like put in all of this stuff to be able to use the software? That part didn't make sense to me either. Because there would be some times where it would like I would have to contact a representative on like a weekend and be like, "Hey, I've got a car here to do." Like, I kind of need to use the software, and then I would have to like hope and pray that they would get a code to me. It was annoying. That I didn't like either. I don't like that you can't edit like core on DAP. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't like that about DAP either. That's stupid. They're probably a third party. Yeah, I mean, I understood that like it was a new, like they're a new company and all that, so they don't have a lot of patterns. They're trying to keep up with new cars and all that good stuff. But that didn't make any sense to me about having to like put in a code and all that. But yeah. Oh, sorry. There's another clip that got pop out. Didn't notice that one. But yeah, I didn't quite understand that. it was more annoying than anything because, you know, you come in the morning, you know, you want your software to be available, and like it wouldn't be. Like, and they may have changed the way they do things now. It may be a little different. I don't know. I haven't used it in a few months. I've used Core mainly, but I mean, they may have changed their method and all that. But yeah, I just kind of felt that was annoying. But I did like their patterns, but I didn't like how long they were in the bottom. That was the main thing. Go ahead and put this back together. I'll probably start on the windshield, get that done and over with. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing these streams on Saturdays if I have anything here. Just kind of do one vehicle on a Saturday. That back in. Put this back in. All right. Let's turn it back to door. I'm gonna shut this and then kind of roll it down and everything just to check it over. It looks good. Sorry, I'm gonna crawl into the back and check it out because I don't have the best lighting in here either. Yeah, she looked good. Where's the button? Ow. I'll just stab myself. Stab myself in the stomach. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that from now on and bottom load them. Like that. All right, now let's move on to the windshield. Oh. Almost forgot this. Windshield time to get that over with. Let's see what my battery life's looking like on the camera. 56%, so. It's not bad. like I said, the more I do this, the more I'll figure out camera situation and all that good stuff. I may do like a POV setup if I can figure out how the best method behind that. This is a replacement glass, it looks like. PGW glass. Pretty good window. PGW. I wish I could remember what car it was, but there was a car I did where they had to replace like a door window. It was like a driver door window. And it was a PGW glass. And the like glass tattoo was like sideways. It wasn't like completely sideways, but it was like super crooked. And it looked awful. And it was like, I want to say it was some kind of Audi, like an A4 or something like that. And I don't know if it was just the people that installed the glass. To me, it seems like it would only go in one way. It bolts into the regulator in the bottom. Best method for what? Sorry, didn't hear it. I don't know. I don't remember what I said. I don't know what I said. Something with an exhaust rumbling outside. I also wish I had windows in my shop. It gets depressing. Not seeing outside in here. I feel like that would also help a lot with the with my lighting situation. I don't have the best lighting in here. Eventually, I'd like to add some more, but This thing is slippied up. I know what I said. Best method for my camera situation, because right now I'm just running a GoPro on a tripod, and I know I could probably use like a head mount, but then I would have to do like a wireless, somehow make it wireless to where, like, obviously I don't have a cord strapped to me while the GoPro's on my head. So I'm going to look into seeing if there's a method with the Meta glasses, see if that's possible. That's what I was saying. Best method for the live stream situation, my camera situation. That's what I was saying. I remembered now. Yeah, because obviously, like, it's not particularly interesting just watching me like walk away from the camera every now and then, because I have to go get something. I can't just move the camera every single time I move, you know. And like right now, you can't see me removing this mirror. Stuff like that. Having more of the like point of view style stream, kind of like Matt does, if you've seen him, the Tint Studio guy. All right, it's time to throw away this coffee. Dump it outside real quick. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get all my windshield tools ready. Let's see. Don't really need this stuff for windshields. Get my towel. And tape. Yeah, I think if I I need to get an extra battery for the GoPro. I think that will help. At least with what I got going on now, that will help. All right, that looks dry enough. Mm. Get this thing shrinked. There's a couple wet spots, but it'll be all right. That's not what I wanted. So this one actually fits good. The last one I did was like, looked like it was a little too wide. So I just trimmed it off a bit. Let's shrink this thing. Gotta love a good 4Runner windshield. Just nice and simple. I mean, something loud just went by. Went screaming by. Sounded like a bike. Probably heading to the skyway to go ride through the mountains. Get that a lot coming through here. Here, I'm about to unplug the camera and go around this way. There we go. Curious to see if you guys can hear the heat gun. Because I know this thing has like a noise canceling. This mic has a noise canceling feature. And I don't know if it's good enough to cancel out the heat gun noise or not. Right, let's take this windshield off. Hope this thing cut decent. Still haven't been able to, like I said this before, I still haven't been able to dial it in completely. Like right here, like the bottom didn't really cut very well. I mean, pretty much the whole entire bottom didn't cut it. I'll have to trim the bottom a lot. But see, what's weird is usually if I like, obviously y'all can't see it, but if I just kind of start cutting on the line, then it'll just start coming off, like perfectly fine. Oh yeah, buddy. See, I love doing getting the more difficult, quote, more difficult slash time-consuming things done first. Because once this windshield's in, it's a easy breezy from here. Right. Now, here's a question for anybody that is on here. Would you rather see this point of view, obviously a little bit closer probably, of actually installing it? Or would you rather have like inside view? I guess inside view is probably better. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. Feels like deja vu. Did one of these literally Monday. Tape up this headliner here. That way we don't get fuzzies. Da, 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 da. I haven't looked to see what time it is. Tennessee game starts at like 12:30 or something like that. Somewhere around there. 12:30, 12:45, something like that. About an hour. I will not be done with this, unfortunately, which is fine. That's why I need a TV here. I can put it on and just mute it. All right. Sorry, I had to text somebody, give them a heads up. this thing scrubbed. Looks like a fairly new windshield. It's definitely an aftermarket one. It's not a Toyota glass. Make sure there's no sticker glue or anything obvious. That's on the outside. All right, get this bad boy rolled and thrown in. All right. Get this thing rolled up, thrown in, and we just got the sides left. I have to see where my battery life is on the GoPro. Would be nice since it's, you know, plugged in, that it would actually like stay charged while you're using it, but it does not. Unfortunately, it does not. Let's get this thing looking good. This thing's gonna be dark. It's gonna look awesome. Roll her a little bit. Booyah. This thing move up a wee bit. All right. In there. She is all covered. It's not being nice to me right here around the mirror though. It's acting super tight. All right. Oh, wee little gap. It is not liking me around this mirror. For some reason, it is just not wanting to go behind it. It's tight as hell though. So whoever installed the windshield put it on there real good. All right. Believe we're good there. No light gaps. Get this thing squeegeed. Booyah. She done and squeegeed. Just give it one more. One more go at it. Windshield done. Look dang good too. I'm glad these people went with 50. I think 50 is just like the perfect shade for a windshield. It's just enough darkness to kind of block some light. And not be like crazy. Because I'm not kidding. I would say maybe I was gonna say about 80% of the windshields I do is 35. And I just think that it's just so much. It's just so dark. I think 50 like this is perfect. I do nothing but 35 windshields, and it's just crazy dark. All right, now the windshield's done, I'm gonna see where my camera's at. 38%. Oof. All right. On to the next. We'll do these back quarters. Do these back quarters and we'll work our way forward. Let's see, this is right. Now we just got the sides left. Right. Get back here and clean these suckers. Grab my phone, that way I can see if somebody types in the chat. I do like this little vinyl graphic they got going on the outside. Kind of cool, not gonna lie. Oh. Get this thing in heel. Very excited for next week. Going on vacation to the beach. Gonna chill out. Do a bunch of nothing. Darkness. Where'd my squeegee go? All right. One coda window done. Is dark. Don't you just love it? All right. Scoot you over so you can see this other side. Maybe I won't trip over my camera cord. And maybe I can get this done before the camera dies. Maybe. All right, she clean. Let's toss her in. pattern is just a little bit too big. Kind of have to tuck it around the trim panels a little. Where'd my phone go? This thing squidged. All right. All right, let's get back to the stream so I can. All right. She looking good. We just got the doors. Camera life is not in the red yet. That is a good sign. Move you over here. I'm gonna do this door quarter window next because they are just a delight to do. Just a delight. Grab another tool. All right. These are always so fun. So fun. lovely Toyota quarter windows. All right. Never enjoyed doing quarter windows like these. It doesn't help that Geoshield is just sticky as you know what. Right. Now let's see how far up I need to go. It's hard to see because it's 5. Right, it looks like I'm covered. Just need to go up some. Just ever so slightly. This is always the issue with these things. The freaking tips just never want to lay down. All right, there we go. I'm getting all kinds of fantasy notifications right now. NFL just like falling apart. Keep getting notifications. This person's not playing. This person's not playing. This person's wanting a trade and blah, blah, blah. Righty, that is a Corto window. Done and installed. Now let's get this door in. I'm going to need more water. All right. Let's get this door window shrank. Camera life is on 20, what does that say, 28%. Getting a phone call. Sorry, had a phone call asking for a quote. I always have to open my door because I don't get service in my building. So and I know I have the Wi-Fi calling thing on, but it still seems like sometimes it just doesn't work. like the call will just drop sometimes. All right, I'm actually gonna start this thing to do this window. Sorry if it's loud. I don't know if you guys will hear that or not. Not surprisingly, you can't really hear it. Just wanted to make sure this thing doesn't die. I need to get me a tender I can throw on each car. Well, I thought I had my squeegee. What'd I do with it? I guess it's on my table. Nope, not on the table either. What did I do with it? Huh, what the heck? What did I do with it? How did I just lose it? Like that. Oh, it's sitting right here on my desk. Just oh my gosh. Me, the big old dum-dum. I didn't even shrink this window. Didn't even shrink it. Like a dummy. Sorry to the audience, but I think once I get this window in, I'm probably gonna have to end the stream because the camera is dying. But I hate it when I do that. I get the window like prepped and ready, and I'm ready to throw it in, and I'm like, oh, didn't even shrink it. right, well, the camera's on 25. I may be able to get this door done and maybe the front one. It'd be nice if my plotter could cut this super ceramic film. Instead of me having to trim it. Sorry guys, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to cut the top edge of this thing without messing it up. All right, there we go. Let's try this again now that I have this thing finally shrink. That's just the worst when you get your window prepped and ready and you turn around and the film's just still sitting on my table. Look at that darkness right there. She's still moving. All right. She's stuck now. All right, we'll turn this thing off. right there. That's what you call pitch black. Pitch black, that's dark. Right. I'm gonna go around later and pop everything back together. All right. Once I get this one in, I'll be ending the stream. My camera is dying. Now we did strip these windows, so I got to be on the lookout for glue. I do know there is some on it. And look, I remembered to shrink this one. Actually remember to shrink it instead of cleaning it and then turning around disappointed when my film is still on the table. Oh, and here we go again. Didn't cut the freaking top. I don't know why this super ceramic film just doesn't cut all the way. Right. Let me freaking trim the top of this thing again. I will never understand why it does that. Like, it's only like one portion of the window doesn't cut. The rest of it cuts flawlessly. And this one will actually peel once I started cutting it, whereas the last one didn't. Just a little bit of glue. What did I do in my bottle? I also hate how Toyota glass is like yellow. And to be honest, it wouldn't be that bad if the back glass was yellow, like the smoked glass had like a yellow tone to it, but it doesn't. It has like a grayish, bluish tone. Getting another phone call. Hold on. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, bud, is Brett
All right, sorry, had a phone call. Camera's about dead. Camera is about dead. Get the rest of this glue off, get this window done, and I will probably call it there. You at least got to see pretty much the whole thing. I mean, it's essentially the same thing on the passenger side that you saw, this door and the other door. That glue from where it ripped. Not really ripped, but like came off really fast. All I've say is at least this isn't that crappy old thin glue that's like hard to get off. She's feeling pretty clean. Making sure I get all this in the bottom. Don't need all that dragging up into the film. Right. Make sure it's all out of the side here. These vent visors make it a little tight in the side. Let's see if I can drop it just a little out of way to, I can kind of slide it in there a little better. Right. Get this thing installed. Yeah, buddy. Dang Geoshield just doesn't slide worth a crap. I just had that little pink squeegee. What to do with it? There it is. Still in the back seat. Make sure I got a good gap going on here. There we go. All right, she's thick. Let's roll her up. Oh no. Dang vent visors. These vent visors just put too much pressure on the window and trying to yank the film out. Which, to be honest, it looks like I've got some blue specks. So that's a redo, unfortunately. Yeah, and it moved the film down when I rolled it up. It's unfortunate. That kind of part of it. I probably should have heated the top once I got it in. It is what it is, you know. It happens, but wish I could have got that done so y'all could at least see one side of it. But I appreciate you guys watching. My camera is dying. I apologize. It's on like 13%, so I apologize. I'm gonna have to end the stream there. But let me turn the car off. That may help. But I appreciate you guys watching. Everybody that tuned in. It looks like we got several views here. Appreciate it. See y'all in the next one. Probably won't be next Saturday, but the one after that. See y'all.